All right, guys, thank you for coming back to my channel. On this video, I want to do something a little bit different. I think today I want to focus more on talking about things that are relevant to the two-way space, without limitation, right? To what we can talk about. Uh, but this is gonna be not so much of a rant, but just a discussion about what I believe is the main issue in the two-way space. Uh, I'm new to this space. By no means am I a big creator or a big voice or whatever have you. Uh, but I am in the space with trying to push out content, and you know, exercising my rights. I have my build that I recently made a video on. I have different weapons. I'm in the process of building another. And with that, I've done a lot of research. I've seen a lot of content creators. I've heard of a lot of drama, and yeah, I have thoughts as well. Just like everyone else, we all have the right to have a thought, right? Freedom of speech. And by no means am I bashing anyone or coming at anything. Pause. Or anyone. I'm not targeting anything. I'm just sharing what I'm thinking, right? So here, number one, I think the main issue in the two-way space is that everything has become cookie cutter. And you might say, what the heck are you talking about? What do you mean cookie cutter? And with that, I'm trying to say everyone is trying to build the exact same gun. And whether it be for Instagram or for YouTube or just to say that they have it, everyone is building the same thing, right? And with that, everything becomes watered down. So everyone has to have uh, a BCM or a Geisley um, standard minimum. Anything other than that, is crap. It won't work. It won't kill. It won't defend you. It won't protect you, and that's a load of crap, right? At the end of the day, you're not standing in front of any of these weapons, whether it's a high point or a staccato. I'm not standing in front of anything. With that being said, getting back to my point of everything being cookie cutter, we're all running the exact same builds, right? So everyone's building their rifles or their handguns with the exact same optics, with the exact same lights, and with the exact same mag extensions or whatever have you. And that's great and all that you want to have a certain rifle or a certain look. But when that becomes the standard to, if you're not meeting this requirement or this standard, then whatever you have is insufficient or it's lesser than. And I don't agree with that take, man. I don't at all. I think that just like any other niche, for example, I'm a big car guy. I love cars. I love working on cars. I yeah, cars is like, I would say that's my first passion because I've been working on cars since I was a a baby. Really, I was maybe 2.5, 3 years old in the yard working on cars with my father. Um, not changing brakes and oil and doing all those things right at 3 years old, but I was watching him. I was learning at 2 or 3, and I fell in love with cars. And then I grew up and I was watching Fast and Furious and how I loved those cars and how those cars looked and how those cars were an expression of art by the owner, right? And there was no right or wrong. It was just build the car out, right? And obviously, you're not going to build a car out with screws mounting a bumper, which is obvious, but it was an expression of yourself. It was an art form. Same with rifles, or same with pistols, or anything 2A. It's an art form. There's so many different parts that we can get into, from different manufacturers, different colors, whatever it may be. Now, I understand, I'm not sitting here saying that everything on the table is great in terms of quality from every single company. I understand that there are certain companies that value their QC over having a high volume of product hitting the shelf. I understand that, and I can respect that. But ultimately, even then, for example, this Roscoe barrel, with me just saying that it's Roscoe to some, I wouldn't say everyone, but I would dare say at least 30% of the community would say, you should have gotten a Criterion, or you should have gotten a Sons of Liberty, or BCM barrel, or whatever it may be, just something, whatever name that they think is quality because it's a cool common name. Man, it's a solid barrel. It, it's not a regular um PSA barrel, where I understand that they're not made, certain things aren't made to do a certain function. Sometimes things are made to simply work. And I think people are forgetting that. And for example, look, here I have a PSA dagger, right? Should love to make them clear. It's clear. I have a PSA dagger, and it's a PSA dagger with a Sally optic. By no means is this a crazy build. By no means is this something that's gonna like break the internet, where people are gonna say, "Wow, that's a really good looking build," or "Wow, that's the most reliable EDC and most reliable optic you ever see." This is just me playing around with what's on the market. I understand that this is a clone of a certain company, right? This is a Glock clone. Cool. It was $250, man. It didn't it doesn't hurt anyone to try things and just play around. Not everything has to have a purpose. Not everything. And not everything has to be so serious. It's a PSA dagger. Uh I've shot her a good amount of rounds. I would say maybe 400 or 500 rounds. And I say a good amount, man, because I have a job. I'm a regular guy. I'm not an operator where people think there's a lot of YouTubers, man, and a lot of people in the community that say, "Oh yeah, I shoot 10,000 rounds a year," and that's great, man. But I have kids, I have a wife, I have responsibilities, I have people that depend on me. I serve a living God. Like there's things where this doesn't always come first, but when I have the chance to dedicate some time to this, I do, right? So yeah, I'm my collection may not be the nicest collection, but anyway, I digress. It's a Sally optic, man. You know, it's not gonna break the bank. It's not a anything crazy. It's not a hollow sun. It's not an MRO. It's not whatever, man. It's not anything crazy. I just wanted to dabble in having a red dot sight on a pistol, right? Because I don't know. I think it looks good. I had nothing against it, but I'm not gonna jump on everything that hits the market. I don't need to. I don't need to, man. This was just me playing around. I had $250 to spend, and I said, let me go ahead and buy this dagger. And then I had another hundred and some change to spend, and I said, let me put an optic on it, man. It's a Doctor Cut, very limited on options. I could have put a plate on it, but again, it wasn't serious. It was a fun gun. It's a gun that I can take to the range and shoot and practice. Uh, Practice with a red dot on a pistol. If I decided in the future I'm gonna do a build with a specific handgun and have a specific red dot on it, great. I have, you know, enough dry firing miles through this that when I get my other build in the future and I decide to put a red dot on it, again, if I decide to, then I can. But it's not necessary. It's not something that has to be the end all be all for every single person. And that's the issue. That nowadays, if you don't have a specific gun with a specific red dot, with a specific light, then you have crap. Then all of a sudden, you don't know what you're doing. You don't have quality stuff because you're not following the trend. And I'm not a trend follower, man. No one can tell me what to do with my money. I'm going to buy what I want and I'm going to shoot what I want, because the most important thing, man, is to be able to exercise your right to bear arms and shoot, man. Go train. Train. I'm not saying that I go train and I'm the best sharpshooter ever, But I'm more worried about shooting my guns rather than having a nice gun that I shoot once a year. And I have nothing against having nice things. I listen, I get it. There are certain things like my dream can at the moment is the Exigent Defense Fire Team 5.56. That's not even an expensive can. That was a little bit more than my Stacy's mom. I could have gotten it. But I said, let me go ahead and save $200 and let me just go with a Stacy's mom. Because I can put that 200 towards something else, which is why I'm starting another build, which I mentioned in my last video. I'm starting another build, so I'm trying to. I don't have 100% of my funds to go into this, and I just started YouTube, and I don't get paid for this. This is something I'm doing purely out of passion and love for everything 2A. And I'm learning as I go, and I feel as though a lot of people are afraid to admit that they're learning as they go. There's very few creators that actually admit it. Yeah, man, I don't believe there's very few people that admit it. And I'm not prideful at all. It is what it is. It's the reality of things. So getting back to the main argument, everything is cookie cutter now. We all have to run the same optic. We all have to run the same riser, or all of a sudden a foregrip is trash. All of a sudden having a break is terrible. Pretty soon a certain rifle length all of a sudden isn't good. There's gonna be a new king of rifle lengths, and I don't, man. You'll never have enough to catch up or keep up. You'll never be happy, and that's what they want. The companies want us to keep chasing that next new thing, that next dope thing, and you fail to realize that, man, what you have in front of you is already a gift, is already a privilege, man, and is a right for us. But there's people around the world that can't have a rifle, can't have a pistol. Look over, look overseas, man. There's people that have no guns. They have no right to access a gun, and that's ridiculous. And we do, and we're here focused on, oh, you have a PSA dagger, or you have a PSA rifle. And I'm throwing out PSA simply because PSA gets crapped on a lot, so much. And I don't like that, because PSA has a mission statement. They never said, hey, we're gonna make the best quality rifles. We're gonna make A1 everything. Our rifles and our guns are the best. They never say any of that. On their mission statement, it clearly states that they want to arm everyday Americans to the best of their ability while saving them some money. And I started with a PSA. This PSA lower, man, had an 11.5 upper. That was my first rifle. 11.5 upper. I ran the Holosun Ames core on it, and she ran, man. Was she gassy? Yes. Was she reliable? Man, I shot her a couple hundred rounds, and yeah, yeah. I mean, she's overgassed. Of course, she's gonna be reliable. She might not last a long time, or high round count, because of how rough she functions, but she ran, and it was my first rifle, and at the time that was all I could afford. And there's no shame in that. People forget where they start. And listen, if you have the ability to start high, man, amen, I'm happy for you. But there are people who don't have that opportunity, who have to start somewhere, who want to get their foot in the door somehow. I'd rather you have a PSA than have nothing at all. And there's people in the space that believe, man, if you can't afford a BCM minimum, you might as well not have anything, because anything else is gonna kill you. It's not gonna work for you. It won't defend you. It won't. Man, listen, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Get what you can get and train. Get your hands on what you can afford and train. And if you have a family, I understand that you want to be able to protect and provide as a man. Listen, I understand. If all you can afford is a BCM, get the BCM. If you can afford a little bit higher, go higher. If you can afford a PSA, get the PSA. I will not judge anyone that wants to do whatever they want to do with their money. But I'm also not going to crap on anyone who can't afford a specific rifle from a specific company. Because we all have to start somewhere. It's more important that there's people in the US exercising their right to bear arms than to just say you might as well not have any because you can't afford anything of quality. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Just because this is cheap doesn't mean it's not quality. There's features that you won't get with something that's cheap. Of course. I'm not that's not the argument that I'm doing. I'm not going against that. But man, it's the bare minimum. It'll get the job done. Another company switching from PSA. Springfield Armory, Hellcat. Clear. Clear. This gun gets so much crap, and I don't understand why. First of all, yes, it's a Springfield Armory, micro, with a comp on it. I have the 15 round mag, true precision barrel, and a Streamlight TLR 7 sub. I love this was my first handgun ever, my first gun period, and this was my EDC for many, many, many years. And I love this gun. Do I regret buying this gun? No, not at all. I believe this is a quality gun. People crap on it because they say, oh, it's too snappy, it's too this or too that. Man, listen. Is she snappy? Yes. She's a micro 9. And the same people that complain about this gun being too snappy are the same people that crap on people for putting a comp on a 9mm gun. How are you gonna say how are you gonna say that, oh man, if you have to put a comp on a 9mm, you have weak wrists, but you're the same person complaining that this gun is extremely snappy and terrible. I love this gun. Is she snappy? Yes, but get used to it. Just shoot it. I put the comp on it because I wanted to. Didn't have to. I wanted to. And I do whatever I want because she's mine. Just like the next guy will do whatever he wants with his gun because it's his. She's not, the slide isn't cut for an optic. I don't need it to. This doesn't make or break the gun to me. To me, she's perfect the way she is. She feels good in the hand with the 15 round mag. She conceals amazingly. I have no regrets buying this gun. This gun, I might have maybe 700 or 800 rounds through it. And I've never had one issue with her. One. I think I've shot maybe like 100. Not too much. And this is the Harrington Arms comp. And you do feel, I'm not going to sit here and say that she feels flatter, but she does feel like she pushes less into my hand. She recoils a lot softer, I would say. In terms of flatness, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't had the chance to go to the range and record from a side profile to be able to slow her down and see how she's tracking. But yes, this is my build. I wanted to do this, so I did it. I don't see an issue with it. But if I post this, or if anyone talks about a Hellcat, it's crap. You could do better. I bought this gun right around the time where it was fairly new, and it was about the same price of a Glock 19. Obviously, you can get these a lot cheaper now, and that's great. Would I tell anyone to get this gun? Yes. If not this size, maybe the Pro. But the build quality on this gun is amazing. The tolerances are great. There's no gap in the slide in the frame. Yeah, she has a heavier trigger, but she's an EDC, man. This is a concealed carry gun. This is for self-defense. Why would you want a light trigger on an EDC? People nitpick, man, and that's what I'm trying to get at. You nitpick because it's not a specific brand. You nitpick because it's not the trend. And we need to stop because it's getting watered down. Everything is cookie cutter, man, and it's annoying. Because you open up a YouTube page and this is my new build, and it looks like the same thing somebody else built 3 years ago. And then we complain about, oh man, this is getting a little bit boring. Oh, it's getting a little bit stagnant. Everything is slowing down. People aren't buying as much, of course, because people are chasing the next best thing constantly. And they don't slow down and say, listen, we have so much available to us that we can work with, but we're limiting ourselves to a fraction of everything that there is available to us. Simply because we're creating this bubble of, okay, this is cool, this is okay, this is crap. But the cool things are very few, and everyone wants to get the cool thing. Nobody even wants to get the intermediate. And if anyone starts in and can only afford something that's considered crap, then all of a sudden they're shunned. All of a sudden there's no love for that person. And now, instead of drawing more people into the community, growing, becoming better, showing love and unity, we push people away, man. And that, I don't think that's right, because it's like a high school mentality in the 2A space. And it's not limited to just the 2A space. I mentioned earlier the car scene. It's the same way. If you don't have a certain brand of wheels or a certain car or body kit, whatever it may be, it's not good. And now everyone has a very similar build. And it gets a little boring, man. Everything's repetitive. We need to branch out, man. We need to stop. We need to burst this little bubble. We need to stop thinking that we are these Navy SEALs, man. Like, come on. People want to have the most bomb-proof gear, but they themselves can't survive a bomb. People want to have proven this and that cost $8,000 because a Navy SEAL wants it, or a Navy SEAL used it in battle. And listen, if you're trying to build a specific clone, I understand. That's different. That's not my argument. My argument isn't that you can't build a clone correct spec of a rifle or handgun, whatever it may be. But for the most part, there are good quality things out here, good quality parts that we can build from, where you don't have to break the bank, where you don't have to, whatever it may be, man. We need to stop being so cookie cutter. We need to bring more people in. We need to be able to have more fun with what we have and applaud the people that are trying to get normal everyday Americans into the space. Whether it looks pretty, whether it, is high end, we just need to be grateful for what we're able to create and what these companies can create at a fair price. Sometimes I look at these things and you're selling me a piece of aluminum for $400. It's a piece of aluminum. Oh, the machining this, the machining that, man, it probably cost you $30 to machine for a $12 piece of aluminum, and you're selling it for $200, $300, $400. It's ridiculous, man, and we're doing it to ourselves because all of a sudden everyone wants to be an operator, everyone wants to be a Marine, a Navy SEAL, and man, we're just regular everyday Americans. Let's get good at this. Let's grow. Let's love what we do. Let's want quality things. But not everyone has to have the same thing to be considered good, to be considered 2A. But that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know I'm not attacking just the 2A space. I know this is seen no matter what. But it's just this thing with the elitists, man, that they want everything to be a specific price point or above in order for it to be considered good. And that's just ridiculous, man. But that's just me, you know. I can be wrong. You can have a different opinion, and that's completely okay. You know, you can have your reasoning to why the Gasly or the BCM is superior to my build or superior to Suns or whatever it may be. And that's fine and dandy. And if you have the money to spend on a new rifle every day or on the best rifles all the time, hey, man, that's a blessing, man. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. But don't crap on the next guy because they can't reach that status, that height just yet. You know, let's applaud people for wanting to get into the space in the first place. I think that's the most important part. Let's share some love, let's spread some love. All right. God bless y'all. Peace.